Hello, my name is Bill Welbourne and I write under the name of W.E. Welbourne, and I have a latest book I'd like to tell you about, and it's called Prisoners of the Third Reich. It's about my uncle. Here he is just there. His name is Thomas Arthur Dawson. He uses his middle name Arthur and he's known as Arty. He was raised during the Depression years and he decided to join the militia in order to get a few funds to help the family out. Next minute you know, he's on his way in the first convoy at the start of World War II. Like many soldiers of the time, he answered the call to help out king and country. They landed in Palestine initially, then in Egypt, and there they had success by kicking out the Italians who were held up in the Western Desert area. And after those successes, he ended up into Greece, and there they started to go backwards because the Germans started coming through, and so they had to retreat back to Egypt. Unfortunately, his ship was bombed and it was disabled, and so he had to be offloaded in Crete, where the Allied forces had a strong base, but unfortunately the German airborne attack they had to send through a couple of times eventually overcame the soldiers. They retreated back to Egypt. 10,000 of them were successful, but 5,000 remained in Crete. Unfortunately, my uncle was one of them, and he became a prisoner of war. He didn't like being subdued in any way, of course, and on the train journey up to the Stalag camps in the middle of Germany and Czechoslovakia, he decided that he'd leave the train when it slowed down, and he made his escape. Thereupon, having many adventures, he was recaptured, but he escaped again from the prison camp. More adventures, exciting adventures. But in the end, the inevitable happened and he ended up in Stalag 8B. From there he joined a work camp and he spent most of the rest of the war, about 4 years or so, until the Russians came through to try and kick out the Third Reich, the last of the Nazis, on their route to Berlin, where they were successful. My uncle, meanwhile, joined the Russians as they came through, and he made his escape back to American lines. From there he went to England. He met up with his pen pal, a woman who wrote to him while he was in prison camp. He was in dilemma there whether he should go back to Australia or not, but he went back to Australia and married his sweetheart. And I managed to catch up with him. Being a young man, I found his story very fascinating. And so I've told it in this book, and I think you would enjoy it. So if you would like to look at it further, you could find it on Amazon, of course, and Barnes & Noble. It's produced by Ex Libris. It's also produced by Matchstick Literacy, and it's available now. Thank you very much.